When a gaming platform is being replaced, people will often remember a certain number of games. But all these older consoles also had great games that are simply forgotten. They didn't sell well or got released when a newer console was already available. In this video, we highlight some of the greatest classics that everybody has forgotten. Now let's make a smooth transition to the sponsor of this video. You see, Alliance Heroes of the Spire is a role-playing game inspired by the classics. What's really cool about this mobile game is that there are hundreds of heroes and dozens of item sets. Add the 5 different elements to it and you get over 10,000 different hero combinations. There's real-time PvP, giant boss battles, and battles between guilds. Best of all, Alliance Heroes of the Spire is available for free on Android and iOS. Be sure to check it out using the link below. When you download the game, you help us out and you'll get 50,000 gold and 50 gems for free. So, we both win. Now, let's have a look at 10 great classic games everybody has forgotten about. And don't forget to let us know if you've played one of these games. In 2003, Sega and Sonic Team make an iconic game called Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. It's a platformer made for the Nintendo GameCube. Billy is pretty useless as he can only move and jump, but when he pushes an egg around, he's more agile. Billy can dash and perform attacking moves using the egg. These eggs can even be hatched, and it will give you power-ups or animals that aid you in your quest. In the end, the game only sold 250,000 copies, which was not enough to make a sequel.
Good morning!
When it comes to iconic game characters, it's not likely anybody will mention the 4-inch robot Chibi Robo. Chibi Robo was released in 2005 for the Nintendo GameCube, but only after Shigeru Miyamoto overhauled the project when he took it out of the development fridge. It's a platform adventure game in which every action takes energy, and Chibi needs to be recharged. As Chibi, you need to help the Sanderson family out with their problems. Sales for this game were modest, and it spawned some small follow-up projects on the Nintendo DS and 3DS. Chibi never became popular, even though he exists thanks to legendary game designer Miyamoto.
Yep. Coming. Yes.
Righto, sir. Yeah, consider it done, boy.
Commandos was an unexpected hit when it first launched in 1998. The Spanish developers from Pyro Studios saw their real-time tactical game sell an astonishing 1.5 million copies, as the game was a major hit in both the UK and Germany. You control one of more units that you need to use to take out enemies. None of these commandos were allowed to be killed or your mission would be over.
Okay, coming over. Consider it done. I'm coming!
It was a serious challenge, but Commandos Behind Enemy Lines and its sequels also brought lots of fun to the table. The series went dormant after the release of the failed FPS game Commando Strike Force. Realistic weapons are not very common in fighting games, but the 1997 PlayStation 1 game Bushido Blade did just that. It let gamers battle in 1 vs 1 duels using one of 8 different weapons, including the katana, broadsword, and sledgehammer. Every weapon had its own speed, power, and blocking ability. A very cool element from Bushido Blade was that you could die in 1 or 2 hits. You didn't fight in a small arena, but in a huge level that consisted out of various fighting pits. It would be great if we could get a remake someday.
Jumping Flash!
With Jumping Flash, we have a PlayStation 1 launch game in our midst. It's a 3D platformer in which you control a robot rabbit named Robbit. You need to acquire all jet pods in order to stop the evil Baron Aloha from destroying the world. Jumping Flash even got 2 sequels and was praised all over the place, but it was eventually overshadowed by all-time classics like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. Jumping Flash is arguably one of the reasons 3D platforming became what it is today, but hardly anyone remembers this game. When we talk about Squaresoft or Square Enix, we mention games like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, and perhaps lesser-known titles like The Secret of Mana and Front Mission. But on the PS1, we also had Vagrant Story, an RPG that came out at the end of the console's life cycle. The game focused on weapon creation and modification instead of shops and NPC interactions. It was a masterpiece, but it got overshadowed by Final Fantasy IX and Chrono Cross that were released around the same time. Free Radical Design made a first-person shooter called Time Splitters in the year 2000. Its stylized graphics were unique, considering most games opted for a more serious style. Character design was based on pop culture stereotypes, and the series is known for its sense of humor.
Time to split!
I'll get the next one.
The first Time Splitters was a PS2 launch title, while later games also released on the Xbox and GameCube. It was a great shooter, with an awesome style and mechanics. The multiplayer introduced in the sequel added more fun to the already great game. After 2005, it became quiet despite some efforts to revive the series. Young gamers might not know anything about the Tenchu franchise. It's a series about 2 ninjas, Rikimaru and Ayame. These games tell a story of the two fighting against demonic forces and princesses that need saving.
I underestimated you. Next time, you die.
The Tenchu series started on the PlayStation 1 in 1998 and it got a couple of sequels. However, as time went by, it slowly died with small releases on the PSP, Wii, and Xbox 360. But the high point of the series took place during the PS1 and PS2 era, and we hope it will one day be revived once again. There was a time when we all played Flash games on the World Wide Web. This was before there was Candy Crush on Facebook. We all went to Newgrounds to play games, and Alien Hominid was one of them. This web game actually got an official retail release on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. Its old-school Contra-inspired gameplay and quirky humor made Alien Hominid very popular, and we consider this game among the first wave of indie games hitting the console market. Did any of you play this game on Newgrounds?
Hurry! We mustn't linger here! More soldiers! Shoot them!
Freedom Fighters is a squad-based tactical shooter in which you are part of a resistance movement fighting Soviet forces. It was a great game in which you needed to earn charisma in order to be able to expand your team. The artificial intelligence of your teammates was outstanding, while the environments were very well designed.
Isabella, you're back! Yes, and I owe it all to this man.
Hey, you must be Chris. Come on in.
Freedom Fighters truly was a great production, but in the end, the game was a bit on the short side and it had limited replay value. We never got a sequel and the series is now in the hands of Square Enix.
Yeah!
Did you remember any of the games in this video? Let us know in the comments, and while you venture to the area below this video, please download Alliance Heroes of the Spire for Android or iOS. It's free and you're helping us by doing it.